Good evening to all of you. Respected Air Marshal Atisharan and the panelists, President of MMA, Mr. Mahalingam, and Group Captain Jayakumar, who prompted me to come here, and the distinguished guests. Greetings to all of you, because we are all very happy that we have done a good job. It's a victory for India. Victory for the people of India. We look at it, victory for political leadership, victory for all the diplomats, victory for armed forces, victory for scientists, victory for all the industries, public and private, victory for everybody. So it's a war proved that India is a different type of country. We have to become a member of the Security Council. I think we have got our Mr. Tirumurthy sitting here, who was the UN. So it is necessary that we should put our strong case to be a member in the Security Council. Who else is powerful today? We are the only country who can give peace to others, or propagate peace to others. All countries are fighting among themselves, Only we can do that. You see, economically, we are having the highest growth rate, GDP growth rate today in the world, more than 6.5%. You see the military might. We have proved the network-centric warfare first time in the world. We operate, stop. That is the trend we have done. We see our 800 million youth. Who has got? We have got the power. Largest democracy in the world. And above all, we have got a civilization heritage. We look at all these things. Who is qualified to be a member to give peace to the world? Only India. So India should be a member in the Security Council. That our diplomats now they should act. Now it is their time to put the case very strongly. Of course, Mr. Putin was telling again and again, he is supporting India to be a member with veto power. He said that. When he visited BrahMos, he said that. So now, this operation is a very demonstration of the power what India has got. Strategy, quickness, decisive. Then the stopping the war in the right time. That's all shows our maturity of thinking and undertaking a war of this type. No panicking. Our armed force in an integrated way. This is the first time you see all the forces joined together an integrated way. We demonstrated integrated warfare. There is a knowledge-powered warfare, AI-powered warfare. We have done that. So this is a very, very 600 drones came. 600 drones. We demolished them. So like that, the war theater was dramatic. And we have proved our might. Now everybody has to learn from us. The big powers, they have to learn from us. We talked about BrahMos operation. You all have seen in the TV. They are overplaying about the BrahMos now everywhere. So it's, Dr. Abdul Kalam, he started in 1983 an IGMDP, Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. So there he conceived 5 projects, named them Prithvi, Agni, Akash, Norgan, Trishul. And he wanted that to be totally indigenous, because all the big powers joined together immediately and imposed MTCR, Missile Technology Control Regime. What does it mean? No country will support us. They all joined together, promoted by America first. Then all other countries joined together, that bandwagon, all joined together, said we will not give any support. No support came. So Dr. Kalam said, we don't want support. Let us make it. What is needed is, what we make should be top in the world. That means we need technologically different, and we should think about futuristic and warfare, and also he should evolve a new methodology for the design itself, new things. For example, all the ballistic missiles go in a ballistic trajectory. That is a, parabolic trajectory. Our Prithvi does not go like that. It goes in a maneuverable trajectory. We cannot find out where it goes. It will go like this, go like this. The trajectory itself is different. First time it is conceived by Indian youth. Similarly, we have done the accuracy we don't have because best systems are not available. So, but we have to make it accuracy. So the 4 young people joined together and they injected software into hardware first time, made a revolution. We are getting now accuracy less than 10 meters. So that type of thing is a power. We were denied of the supercomputer. That Dr. Kalam went all the way to Washington to tell them give one supercomputer, create something. But they didn't give. They gave only lunch to him. So he came and he told, so we are helpless. So saying, young people joined together and said, no, we are not helpless. We will make it. So in 2 years, 14 young scientists, they have made a supercomputer which was 20 times faster than the Cray something. And each of the design of our Agni shape, which was, you have to do that shape because we don't have a hypersonic facility to test it. We cannot do the re-entry, but we have to do everything by software. That's called computational fluid dynamics. We did that, and for each of the shape, there was 1 lakh grid points which have to be analyzed. With the usual computer, it was taking 9 days. With this computer, what these people have made, and the software developed by Indian Institute of Science, we could reach less than 5 minutes for each. From 9 days, we came to 5 minutes. This supercomputer was the evolution. That was the first time a supercomputer was made, even before Param. And now we are talking about petaflop computers, quantum computing, we have gone much beyond. What the world is doing now, we are doing. We are doing 6G. Like that, anything you take, we are in that stage. It is not that India is already a developed country, except that few pockets of poverty is there. We are very much advanced. Our scientific talents have been proved here. If you see that operation, our talent has been proved. So this is what Dr. Kalam did. Then we launched Agni successfully, 89, and 92nd launch was there. There was a problem. Then he put a committee with me as a convener. We found out the reason and then we succeeded. Then he said, okay, now we look at the scenario today, and technologically, we are behind others. We are 4th country, 5th country, 6th country, we are saying. When will we become first country? Like that he thumped. And he told, you take a break and come with an idea. So he sent me to Harvard in 91. So 91, when I was Harvard, that was the time the Gulf War was taking place. That gave me a clue, because more than 500 Tomahawk missiles were launched by the Americans, quietly coming and clearing up all the air defense systems of Saddam Hussein. Then they bombed. So, cruise missile is the one which can go down. It doesn't fly up, flies low, radars cannot pick up, go and finish off all the targets before the enemy wakes up. So, this gave the clue that we should introduce cruise missile into the thing. And also that time Patriot was used. So I gave 2 points to him. One is we should have cruise missile, and one is defensive, ballistic missile defense. So he said, you come back, then we will work out. After my coming back, we started thinking about how to do it. He gave an idea. You see, cruise missile is a new baby for us. You go to Russia, because you are already working with them. We were working on underwater technology, we were working with them. So he said, you go and find out from them whether they have got any cruise missile technology which they can share. So that was in 91 onwards. I tried 91, end of 91. 93, they came to us. So they showed me the engine. This is a supersonic engine developed only by Soviet Union. No other country has got. If we use this supersonic, your missile will be supersonic missile. Why do you think of just a cruise missile? Think of a supersonic. This is what Dr. Effermo, Director General of the NPOM, he was advocating supersonics. So then we debated, and then Dr. Kalam formed a committee with me there to further discuss and then work out how to get the technology transfer for the Indian. Finally, we landed not technology transfer, a joint venture. So they will give the Indian, because if you take the technology transfer and try to do, it will take time. Maybe 15 years it will take. So quickly you have to realize supersonic cruise missile, which is not available in the world. So why not we do it? So that means you can become number one in the world. So that in that direction, we formed a joint venture. Joint venture means they said we are pauper now. After 90, the Soviet Union collapsed and the whole of Russia was in a very bad condition with Elstein getting 3 times heart attack. So there was a problem there. So they said, we don't have money. We will give some technology. You put the money. Some $700 million they asked, said. We said, nothing doing. Joint venture means you have to put. So 50-50. First we started with 50-50. But you have to put. They said, we don't have money. We gave an idea to them. We are reimbursing our purchase of the MiG-21 long back, credit to be purchased. So we were reimbursing in kind. So we said, okay, from that we will take. So finally that was debated, discussed. It took 1 year between them. I had to go 100 times to Russia to stand before them. Finally, we got it through. So then the percentage question came. Finally, they agreed for the 51, 49, 51 for India. For them, 49 they agreed. But I did not agree to that. So Dr. Kalam said, let us go and meet Narasimha Rao. It was in 95 I am talking. So Narasimha Rao was defense minister and prime minister. So in the afternoon, after his nap, he was very fresh. So that time we knocked at him. So Dr. Kalam presented what is the joint venture, we are thinking all those things. So he was very patiently hearing. He doesn't react. He is the president who doesn't talk but thinks. The prime minister. Okay, so then in between I said, sir, this will make India number 1 country in the world, I said. That time he was looking like this. So his face changed, So you are imagining, he was trying to criticize me. Then I explained why we are number 1. Then he said, so what do you want? I said, you make it as a private company. You are giving money as a government fund, but make it private. I cannot work with this finance and other people. Procedure will take time. I want to have my own procedure. So what do you want? 50.5 for India, 49.5 Russia. So this immediately agreed. It's a new experiment. You do it. But it was a top secret project at that time. Prabhu's was a top secret project. So he said that, what is the time frame? I said, 3 years will fly. So then we signed 91 CS, but he was out of the scene. He wanted to do the nuclear test. We prepared the nuclear test during his time. But unfortunately, we could not do that. So he thought he will come back, but he didn't come back. He lost the election. Then he told Vajpayee that, no, this is the one we arranged. You must do the test. So Vajpayee and himself, they are very close. Only politically they are different, but ideologically, nation, they both of them looked in a big way. So what happened? Mr. Vajpayee did the test. Okay, that's a different thing. So that is the time we signed the agreement also. February 98, we signed the agreement with a lot of difficulties we had to go through, and we signed the agreement. Before that, we did the design. It's very carefully what we have done. 98 is, this procedure will take time. So we formed the team. Our team was in Moscow, and when Mr. Venugopalan, he is a propulsion engineer who headed the design team. So we put him there and we worked out and the design was ready. So the 98, we started thinking about the money coming because our money came immediately, but Russian money didn't come. So it took some time. So by the time Dr. Kalam also moved out of DRDO, that was the thing. So, but we continued, got the money, we did all the development. We made a tripartite agreement. That is the Russians, what they have to do, what the DRDO has to do. It was signed by Abdul Kalam as DRDO chief. And I signed for the BrahMos. So three of us signed a framework, how we should do it as an exclusive program. Then George Fernandez was the defense minister. I told him, I will not go for L1, L2 quotation and all those things. Okay? Because you make it a mess by doing that. L1 will be useless fellow. Finally, we have to give. And it will take time. It will take time. I don't want to do that. I will do that. So I will put a procedure. I have evolved how it should be done. So he approved that. So based on that, whatever contract we have given, two things we achieved. One is 50% of the money for our development came from Russia. It's a free money for us. All development, we are using the system. But 50% of the money I got it. They thought they are smart, but we became smart. Second thing, all the industries which I have signed contract, all on single tender basis, with a condition that they have to invest for production. So I gave a guarantee to them in an MOU that once if the production order comes, you will be the production agency, you will not change it. Under that condition, they put all the investment, facilities were built. See, without spending money, we have got everything done. And 20,000 people were identified, full-time basis, to work in the country. So like that, we started doing that, and finally you have seen a lot of things, tests are going on. So Navy said that we have to go for user trials. I said, what do you want? User trial. So 20 tests, this test. I said, nothing doing. You want to see a test with the warhead, put on a ship. So they put a ship, we put the warhead, with the warhead development tests are not done. But we did that and finished off their ship, the explosion. So they saw that, then I said, we don't want to use a trial. We accept the missile, they said. So all our ships are having today propose. Some of the ships have got 16 missiles. Every 3 seconds the missile can go against 16 targets. Now we have positioned 3 ships in this operation, all of them having BrahMos. That if the war would have continued, Karachi would not have been there. That's a type of preparation. So that was the plan. So then we thought, why not we give to army? This was our thinking, because in the contract with the Russians, it should be used only for Navy. But we wanted to violate that. So we demonstrated to Army Chief, General Singh, J. Singh. Okay, 5 minutes. So we put that with the GPS. We did that test. We showed him wanted to see 2 tests. Full 2 tests were there. Then they said, no, we don't want this type of target. We want to put our own target. They put. That was the time we had a little problem. The GPS, we used the GPS, which that was the day Obama was taking us, becoming the president. So they switched off that GPS, the Americans. So our missile did not hit the target, went down. Then the army said, no, there's a problem with this missile. I said, nothing. We will solve it within a month. We will demonstrate. So within a month, we demonstrated, hit the target. Whatever target you want to give. Any target we will hit. We hit. Then they said, you have to repeat 2 times. Okay, we repeat 2 times. We repeated 2 times. Then they said, you put 3 regiments. Immediately we give order. So army gave immediately 3 regiments like that. Then we wanted to do it for Air Force. So Air Force, this is a heavy missile. So we wanted to make it a shorter, a little weight less, because this 3 tons. We made it to less than that, 2.5 ton. 2.5 ton can be carried only by Sukhoi 30. And only 1 missile to be done. So then the Russians said, if they don't have this system, the air system. So they said that we will make the air system, we will demonstrate that. You give $250 million to us. So when they said that, our people thought, what is this? These people are trying to ask They will modify our own Sukhoi. They will do everything. The reason is Sukhoi design details are not available with HAL. So the people, when we do any technology transfer, this is what we should see. We should get full technology. Half technology if you take is a problem. Then I said, I will get that design. He took 2 aircraft, completely instrumented, did all the types of flight regimes, and characterized to this one. Finally, I gave a design document. They said, mission control is the control, that what they use for the computer. That has got their software. You cannot do anything. You cannot put a missile there. We modified the software. We decoded the words. So like that, we started doing. The Russians were very angry with us. So the Russian president, Medvedev, told our Prime Minister, Manmohan Singh, that these guys are doing something. It should be done only by the Russians, not by Indians. So then I was told, you pay 2 million, that's not much money to do it. I said, no, I will not do it. Prime Minister instruction to be that we should work with the Russians. I said, this is an opportunity for us to demonstrate that we are capable. So then they asked how we are capable. Then I told all these things. How we have done that design, how we have done HAL coming up, all those things, we explained everything. Then our government agreed, yes, you can do it. By the time Putin came, so when Putin comes, there is no problem. Because he knows about us, he was part of us in decision making. He came to our headquarters, he inaugurated our complex, everything. So he was part of us, there was no problem. So we could finally make it working, air version, which Russians don't have. See the difference. We are partnered Russian, but at the same time we put them down. This is the air version which Air Marshal Matheswaran was talking about, air version. So this is the story of air version. Like this, we have to go through all these difficulties to see that the system works. Finally, if you see the 3 things are there. Precision. You have to hit the target. We wanted only 0. No 1 meter. 1 meter they are saying no. 0 CEP. Circular air probability should be 0. Second thing is speed. We are the fastest cruise missile in the world today. Speed. Then kinetic energy. Because of the speed, velocity, energy is half mv square. Velocity square. So we are 9 times superior to Tomahawk. So that is how the whole thing, you go there and you will see only destruction. So when we were, I will take 2 minutes.
Okay.
When we were showing these different exhibitions, one exhibition, the Pakistan delegation with one general came. So they thought first hesitated, but they started asking our people, it is in Abu Dhabi. So the general wanted to know something. Our people could not talk to him, he is Pakistani. So they said that our MD will come and talk. So I went there. So he asked, what is this? What is the seeker? How do you home on? All tricky questions he asked, I answered everything. Then he said, this is a fantastic missile. You should not sell to others. No, the idea we have come is to sell others only. Best product only we can sell. So you are going to sell to the Middle East? Yes. Will you sell it to Pakistan? I said, sir, this is a free delivery item for you. So I have written all these things in my book. There's a Success Mantra of Brahmos, one book is there, forwarded by Abdul Kalam. There, that book, where is our friend? Sir, please show that book, sir.
Thank you, Dr.
So there I have written this. The general, I did not name the general because he will be in trouble. So I did not put that. But I have mentioned this. Similarly, I have some other stories are there about the Americans. Big incidents are there. Because everybody has understood the power before we used. You have understood. So that was the story of BrahMos. Today we have got in large numbers. Our armed force, though they are very good in use, but they will say it is not working, it is not ready, all those things they will say. So to cover that, all the technical positions were made by us.
It's now proven.
Storage, everything we made by us. And
it's now proven. So it is now proven in the conflict.
Proven now. So thank you so much. He's asking me to.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pillai.
So, only last word, war is not over. Only we did the operation. War is not over. They are not going to keep quiet. We will have problems to come, but we have to keep ready ourselves. We have to be ready. Don't assume that everything is over. Now we have to be very conscious of the situation and we have to prepare ourselves. So BrahMos will be there in large numbers, no problem.
Thank you.
Five production centers today. Five production centers. More than 20,000 people are working. We are now started exporting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pillai. Thank you. Yeah. May I now invite General Arun? And I would place three issues with you. One is the Op Sindoor is an example of excellent jointmanship, perfect integrated planning and execution. How does this portend for the future of Op planning in the context of CDS and individual services? Second is, of course, the doctrinal change announced by the PM. Does this imply a full-fledged military punitive action in the future? What does this imply for our future military strategy and the escalation matrix? And the third one is the air defense has performed exceedingly well, and the IACC has projected a robust impenetrable wall while we demolished their air defense. Army tactical air defense stitched together by Akash Tir performed extremely well. What shape will this now take in the future warfare, given the fact that drones, missiles, AI, and cyber warfare will dominate the initial phases of the war? Will our approach to China change with this experience? Arun, all yours. Yeah.
Jain, Vanakkam, and thank you for this opportunity. It was fascinating listening to the two preceding speakers. I'll start with the ambassador. It warmed the cockles of a soldier's heart to hear a diplomat, a very senior ambassador who's been the permanent representative in New York, talking of a robust diplomatic policy. It is music to my ears. Abrogating the Indus Water Treaty, brilliant. It is as muscular an option as diplomats can do. So thank you very much, sir. May your tribe increase. Thereafter, Dr. Pillai, it was absolute pleasure. I am willing to sacrifice my time to listen to you speak for some more. People like you make India possible. People like you make it easy for soldiers like me to execute what we have to do. People like you make it easy for India to stand in the Committee of World Nations in the manner in which you do. So God bless you, sir, and thank you very much. I will give a month's pension now to come and listen to you speak wherever you are. I will certainly buy that book and read it. So thank you very much. So coming to a couple of things before the specific questions that you asked me. You talked of the chaos theory and that little butterfly. Now that little butterfly, sir, in South America actually does not know that it can create a hurricane in Florida. But this Indian butterfly knows exactly where a hurricane can be created and is aware of its power. That is the new India, which is not just muscular, but it's no longer shy of its muscles. Now, whether it's our cricket team or whether it's our country in general, I have constantly argued that we are reticent by nature and we are shy of showing our muscles. Well, that India has changed. This new India is muscular and is not ashamed of its muscles. And we should not be ashamed of using our muscular power. Soft power takes us to a point. I am probably a hawk. You could call me a hawk, although I wear a kurta and a pajama these days since I'm retired. But I'm still a hawk. Now, that brings me to international order. Sir, you argued that some people are of the view that international order has since collapsed. I am certainly a vocal proponent of that view. I am not even sure the United Nations should exist in its current form. I would go out on a limb and say we should pull out of the United Nations for a moment. And watch what happens then. Out of the 193 or so members, I think 125 will fall out. Because the Security Council and the P5 do what suits them. They do nothing else to better the world. Apart from the other arms of the UN, I'm only referring to the peacekeeping, the DPKO operations. Now that having been said, sir, the Prime Minister made those statements, and what are the implications? I'm clubbing all your three questions, sir, into one. It's quite a challenging thing because I have just 30 seconds to do that. So, political objectives. What did we gain from Operation Sindoor? Tremendous gains. Politically, we clarified what the cost will be to Pakistan in a case of a similar misadventure. And that cost has been elucidated by General Brar and by Dr. Pillai, both in men, material, reputation. Now, reputation is very important because the Pakistan military had for long, since I was commissioned and I was in service, prided themselves on their air defense systems. Now, that myth lies in tatters today for a multitude of reasons. I think that has changed. Indus Water Treaty, sir, you spoke about a new normal. Now, this new normal actually states that so far we keep looking to other powerful nations for some kind of a support or a vote. My recommendation is we should stop doing that. If some country didn't stand by us, if they were midway through in making these polite noises which people are supposed to make, it's no big deal. I think today we are more than big enough to wage our own battle, and we neither need anybody's permission nor consent to do it. And I think that has been amplified more than clearly. Now, in terms of psychological objectives, we've struck at a depth which we hadn't struck so far. Now, more than the physical damage that we have caused, 100 or so kilometers into their hinterland, it's the psychological effect of that strike which will have a more lasting effect on what Pakistan does in future. I think that is huge. Resolve. The resolve to commit resources to conflict and control that escalation, which Air Marshal Madheshwaran so beautifully explained, I think was demonstrated in huge. The other objective that we may have had but not clarified or amplified in so much detail is a deterrence. What my desire was is that we should have amplified what we define by a terrorist threat. So now it's already started, the hair has already started getting split. So people have started saying major terrorist threat. So how do you define what is major and minor? Were those killing of 3 terrorists in Sopore minor? I would have argued that is also a terrorist threat, and that should have been followed by one more, probably Dr. Pillai's babies. 3, home delivered free of charge, like he said. So where do we draw that line? How do we take it? Are we really in control of an escalation matrix? That is something we'll have to ponder about in future. But for a present display, fantastic. Now, in terms of strategic implications, for a long time, I was the chief of strategy for the Indian Army. So if I don't speak about this, I will not do justice to the pay I drew there. So we successfully moved from restraint, from strategic ambiguity, if you wish, strategic ambivalence, if you wish, strategic restraint, if you wish. We've moved to calibrated deterrence. And we have shown that with each escalation, we will not only control but dictate and shape the next stage and level of escalation. So I think that has been displayed. This is a huge strategic implication for us. The strike envelope has got expanded, not just in terms of the kinetic energy that we've delivered, but in the manner in which we have delivered it by using or marrying all the powers that we have at our disposal, which talked about network-centric warfare, about the marriage of the 3 services, about the networking of the different missile systems, about the use of the multiple layers that we have, whether it be offensive or defensive. That has been adequately amplified. Now, whether it was done as a consequence of a strategic change in the doctrine that we apply, or it came because of what we had to do, and now we had to actually craft a doctrine and remodify our tactics and training procedures, that is something that the militaries will do now. Destroying Pakistan's strategic assumptions and aspirations. The leader of the Muslim world, the only country in the Muslim world to have an atomic weapon, seemingly a spokesperson for all things, Islam, at least that is the way they portrayed themselves. They provided defense umbrella to many other powerful, countries which sought there. Now, I think that market, that belief, that assumption, that image has got completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. Tri-service jointmanship, sir, you use the word jointmanship. I don't like the word jointmanship, sir, because joint actually means a joint. Two things which are joint. I like the word integrated. Because in typical carpentry, the word joinery is used. So joinery still means two separate entities joined together. Now I'm saying integrated. I think that integration has been from the fact that all the three services were represented at every conference, every briefing, along with a very, very senior official of the Ministry of External Affairs. I think it showed great synergy and integration, not just within the three services, but also within the whole of government approach, which we have always argued for and never quite found. I think we found it. And I think in this little window of Pahalgam and the 2 weeks and the 4 days of conflict, we have discovered many things about ourselves as a country and an army and a whole of government which we didn't know existed. And I pray to the powers that be that we don't let it go away. Before the iron gets cold, we should mold this system into something that is robust and we can be proud of. We've shown that we don't need any permission or international consensus or support from anybody. It doesn't matter. If many nations didn't stand by us, it doesn't matter. We did what we had to do. We pulled off when we had to do. Conference after conference, it has been stated that we had limited objectives. In this case, specifically to destroy terrorist infrastructure, which we did. How I wish, like hell, we had taken out one of the 2 or 3 major terrorist leaders. That would have been the icing on the cake. That will happen in some time. And I think that message is now loud and clear to those across the border. One last tactical implication for us which may unfold. Now that Pakistan has realized that where our threshold is to launch a military strike, I am conscious of the fact that all the terror groups that operate out of Pakistan in our country will now drop that threshold level. Which means is there going to be a likely resurgence of a larger number of smaller terrorist attacks? Yes. Is this likely to create a problem? Because it is very easy to see an airfield. It is very difficult to see a single militant or a terrorist. So that is something we need to be conscious of, and I'm sure the parts that we are working at all of this. So last question that you asked was about the air defense umbrella and our implications. Now, a lot of equipment that was used in this conflict was both of Chinese origin, probably made in Pakistan, probably made in China, and some of it American origin. Much of it has been countered effectively, but has all of it been countered? That's the question. Second is the quantum of numbers of equipment and tonnage and effect that was used and the cyber capability of the adversary. Are the Chinese a different cup of tea? Yes, they are. But we've tested our might against one adversary and come out shining. Do we need to prepare for another adversary? Certainly yes. Will the war unfold in the same manner? Certainly not. Because like we are analyzing it, you can be sure across the border and across different borders in different countries, multiple people are analyzing how this war unfolded and how we calibrated our actions. Are we a threat to anybody else? Absolutely not. But they are going to be conscious of our increasing muscular power. This is not an India which is only going to do yoga and Bharatanatyam. We will do a Bharatanatyam picture delivered through a Brahmos. And thank you, Pillai sir, once more. So that is what has changed. With the Chinese, I think a recalibrated doctrine will factor in what the threats may be. consequent to threat assessment. Last but not the least, Pakistan is not even a worthy adversary. I'm sorry, Group Captain Vijay sir and your honorable audience, we have actually wasted 2 hours talking about an adversary which is a non-issue. We have grown way beyond that. We are not even in the same league anymore. We should be talking about the bigger fish. So that is something we need to be very conscious of. Now, have we made no mistakes at all in this conflict? Are there no areas at all where we can improve? Is it only supposed to be celebratory and, a pat on the back? That is something for us to analyze indoors, behind closed doors, and we must do that. Because only then we will go from what we are an 85, 87, 89% to a circular error probability of 0. So that the next war, when it unfolds, we retain a similar posture at the end of the war. Last thing is, you're sitting in Chennai, most of you all at least, which is the home of chess in India and the home to so many of our grandmasters. The end game must be very clear to us when we move the first pawn on the board. And that is something I think will shape our doctrine and our strategic thought going forward. I have finished. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you, General Arun. That's wonderful. Vijay, can we have 5-10? Yeah, so we have about 15 minutes for questions. Yeah. Anyone who wants to ask a question from the audience here, you can raise your hand. No? On the QR. Okay. It'll come here? Okay. Now they've put it on this thing. Or in the meantime, anyone wants to ask a question? Okay, it's come here. Okay. We have a question on how would you compare the air power dynamics of Operation Sindoor to other global air operations like Gulf War or Israel's 6-day war? Okay, now as I pointed out, I don't like comparing with Israel. Israel is too small a country, one. They were good professionals. And they have, since 1973, they do not fight any country. We are dealing with state power, big state power. Second is Israel's 6-day war was a preemptive strike. Ours was not a preemptive strike. Ours was a very calibrated, punitive strike, which the enemy well knew was going to happen. And then we dealt with them. So we are dealing with a significant military force, and we are dealing with them effectively in a manner in which it needs to be dealt with. And that is a clear evidence of the professional competency of the service. The next question is for Ambassador Sinha. Why has the Western diplomatic narrative been hesitant to fully endorse India's actions, despite clear evidence of restraint and strategic precision? Ambassador Sinha, would you like to answer that?
Well, I would say that while there has been no direct and clear statement of support, if you compare the Western reaction to earlier situations, you find a clear movement in favor of India. The US statement that it had nothing to do with the situation with the war was a great improvement upon earlier situations in which the US would come down very heavily on India and ask for a ceasefire and ask for direct talks. This has not taken place this time. The US intervened only when Pakistan called it up and asked it to intervene. And that's when the US called us and we said that it's for the DGMO of Pakistan to call our DGMO and ask for a ceasefire. Otherwise, there was no appeal from anywhere in the West putting pressure upon India not to either to stop or not to launch the Operation Sindoor. So that I think is a great improvement. We must realize that the Western attitude towards Pakistan has a long history. And that is not easy to change in the context of the Western, especially American links with the Pakistani army, where they look upon their relations with special soldiers as a factor of some kind of stability in Pakistan, because the army is what keeps Pakistan stable, and the Americans, because they have a direct line to the Pakistan army, have a certain soft corner for it.
Thank you, Ambassador Sinha. The next question is, what lessons from the BrahMos program can be applied to evolving precision strike systems in the light of Operation Sindoor? This is for Dr. Sivadanu Pillai.
So presently what BrahMos has got is a seeker, which is a radio frequency seeker. And it has got the system like inertial navigation. So all through it will go by inertial navigation, which cannot be jammed. And the coordinates should be given correctly. Today the requirement is coordinates have to be given correctly. That means the person who operates, he should give precise coordination. That coordination comes to you from a satellite or different means he is getting that. But in future, we don't want coordinates. We want to hit the targets. For that, we are now developing a new seeking system, which is called scene correlation area navigation. That means the scene will be already there with the onboard of the missile. It will go and map it. It will correlate. And where is the small hut melted is there, it will pinpointedly it will destroy. So that is what we are now trying to do, so that the accuracy is totally, it is available. Even though we are not able to give the coordinate, it will destroy that target. This is one thing. Second thing is we are increasing the speed also. We are now from Mach 3, we are going to Mach 7. 7 times faster we are going. So when you go for 7 times, this correlation becomes very, very important, more than the coordinates. So that's what we are looking at to improve the accuracy. If our Navy decides, all the ships of Pakistan will be out, because that's a very accurate because of the seeker system, which homes on, is a radar seeker. All the ships can be destroyed. So when it is land target, hidden land target, there only we need more effort to hit that pinpointed accuracy. We have to do that. So that is what we are looking at it. Good question.
Thank you, Dr. Pillai. Next question to General Arun. How can military-civilian synergy be improved to better manage the information narrative during operations like Sindoor?
Vamsi, I don't know if you're from Chennai. When I return, come and have a coffee with me. I'd love to speak with you. I love your question, buddy. So, an army is only as good as the nation that supports it. If the armed forces didn't have the support of the country at large, these operations would not have been possible. Now, with reference to information war, see, we are about 1.4 odd billion people, of which, if you take away the 0.5 million or 0.5 billion, you still have about 800 or 850 million users of a handheld device, which is capable of transmitting, relaying, creating, positive images of ourselves. And you see any number of them. You will always remain our silent information warriors. That is the first thing. The second thing is in terms of support. I think General Brar mentioned something like that. That is one thing. The third thing is, supporting the national cause and the national narrative. So when it's a time of conflict, everybody has to rise and do their little bit. So when that soldier's family, so this is a conflict that never escalated to the next level. But should it have gone to the next level, we would have had multiple casualties on both sides of the border. After all, when there is a war, it is impractical to expect no casualties on one side. So tremendous support is required there. Tremendous support is required in the furtherance of the positive narrative, both as a country and as an armed forces and as individuals. Rest of the support outside the information arena sphere is to be able to neutralize the negative, subversive, and probably destructive capacity of cyber warriors from across. Now, when we fight a larger conflict, there will be a larger number of these people. So every little bit that you can do, and I'm sure our new doctrine, as we expose ourselves to what the community of our societies can do to further the information war, I think we will seek your support, public support, a lot more vocally and openly. What you've done for the armed forces in this conflict is priceless. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. And one last question. Sindoor demonstrated superior technology and strategy. A stitch in time saves 9. Similarly, good relations, diplomacy with neighbor countries help. Threat to East Coast by China via Sri Lanka is a question he's put there. I think I'll request Ambassador Sinha to look into that and answer this.
Well, as General Arun pointed out, this war with Pakistan was really, in a sense, an unequal war. Pakistan is much smaller than us. Pakistan's economy is a shambles, and Pakistan's technological capability is also extremely limited. For us, the bigger challenge comes from China. And in the case of China, for the first time in our history, the threat comes from the same power, both from the north and from the south. This is the first time in history that we have the same power that's threatening us from the land border in the north, also is a challenge to us in the south, in the oceans. So there you have a problem. There, China's economic strength is extremely high. Its ability to reach out to countries with aid and with assistance is very high. Its pockets are deep, and its military capacity, especially naval capacity, is extremely strong. So this makes it a formidable challenge to us. And while the Operation Sindoor has been a success, we have to learn lessons from it to prepare ourselves for the bigger challenge, which would be from China, both across the land and the sea. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. And I just want to clarify one issue on the information or the narrative part. Fog of war, as defined by Clausewitz, is an essential part of war, which creates uncertainty. So as we moved along in the later part of 20th century, we started getting into a concept known as real-time awareness. So because surveillance and all these sensors started providing, and you could process the data and get real-time awareness. So everybody thought, whoa, the fog of war is going to be a thing of the past. We will know exactly what we are, and with networking, etc., even a soldier will know what exactly is happening around them, and therefore war can be prosecuted effectively. Technology brings its own fog of war. Okay, and it becomes even more complex. And now with social media and these kind of activities that have come in, earlier perception management was done by the governments and the top agencies, which was a top-down flow. Today, people do perception management from bottoms-up flows. So you're fighting the fog of war, you're fighting perception management, and therefore narratives are one massive jumble of confusion. It takes a long time to take away those noodles and then get to the real story. So internet, as I say, is 80% trash and 20% is gold mine. You have to really search that gold mine. And similarly, to work around this constantly, perception management, which we've seen in the context of Ukraine war and the Gaza war, much of the media outlets are managed by the Western countries. They dominate the world. They propagate the narrative, but that narrative, the world has realized utter trash. And therefore, there are many ways of people trying to figure out. If you go on Twitter, you will realize these stories are completely different if you want to see how it is actually the real truth. And that is important for us to actually remember. So in times of war, the fog of war is a very, very critical element. It will never go away. Just as war, as Plato said 2,500 years ago, only the dead have seen the end of war. War will always remain.